North Carolina Tar Heel football. 2-4 on the year, 0-2 in the ACC. Getting ready on Saturday to face number 16 in the country, Virginia. Multiple articles written about the dysfunction within the program. Agreeing to and turning down documentary series of multiple varieties. Endless jokes, and if you are around UNC football in any kind of form or fashion, I'm sure you've seen some. You've thought some were funny. You didn't think some other ones were funny. You've curated them all. So of course, when a bit of news comes out about the program, we, as humans do, we paint it with the brush, or we see it through the lens with which so much other information has been processed. So when you see, as anybody that follows the program saw, yesterday the news came out, it kind of trickled out throughout the day, that 3 more players have left the North Carolina football team. William Boone, offensive lineman, who actually started 3 games earlier this year, suffered an injury against Richmond. Pass rusher Price Yates, who was one of the more heralded transfers incoming from UConn. And tight end Yasir Smith, who is one of the younger players on the roster, who, a freshman tight end, has not appeared in any games yet for the Tar Heels. When 3 players exit the program, in addition to Caleb Hood, who we learned retired a couple of weeks ago, in addition to wide receivers Paul Billups and Isaiah Johnson, and offensive tackle Trayvon Green, who also left the program earlier this year, you start to get to the point where you're just going, they must be running away from. And you start connecting dots that haven't necessarily been connected, right? Oh, they must be leaving because of the dysfunction. They must be leaving because of reported preferential treatment for other players. They must be leaving because they don't have their coach's cell phone number. Like, all of these things we've learned, it's ad hoc ergo proctor hoc? Anybody, any Latin majors out there? This is about the only Latin phrase I can toss out there, so hopefully it makes me sound smart. It means after, therefore, because of. So just because these guys are leaving after we've learned about all this dysfunction, our brains are telling us they must be leaving because of all of that dysfunction, right? After, therefore, because. And that's not always the case, right? Sometimes they're leaving because they would have left regardless in this situation, even if it was gumdrops and rainbows in the locker room. Everybody loved each other. Everybody was getting better. They still might have left, but we don't know that because we only get the timeline of events in the order that we received the information. I would not be surprised if there's more of this kind of news in the future. And I'm going to do my best, unless it becomes like a true avalanche, just a tidal wave of contributors leading the program. I'm going to do my best to react the same way, which is this. Yeah, lost seasons tend to have a lot of players decide they don't want to burn their eligibility, so they kind of have to make this decision. Right? It's and I know these schools hate to be compared, but I do it often anyway. NC State had a year where their starting quarterback and starting running back decided to just stop playing in games in the middle of the year, right?
Yeah.
With Jordan Houston, the running back, although he was, kind of touch and go on his grasp on the starting running back job. But MJ Morris had the starting quarterback job and decided to redshirt after playing 4 games. He's now where? The Coastal or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
After a stop in Maryland. It hasn't gone well for him. At least it appears it hasn't gone well for him since then. But my point is, the reason why I bring it up is because as soon as and I said this earlier, the big and lofty goals appear to be off the table, I do think players start in modern college football, where at times there's big money on the line, right? NIL, another year of eligibility opens you up to another year of potential earnings. I do think once you get to a certain point in the season and you look at your record and you're 2-4 and you're 0-2 in the ACC, you start looking at, okay, what's best for me rather than what's best for the team. And I know, because I do it too. We all would like to think, and some of us even know in the core of our being, that if we were in that situation, we would do the altruistic, selfless, sacrificial thing. Right? If I signed up for a season and I were on the roster at the start of the season, barring serious injury or serious disrespect, I am sticking it out till the very end, and I am a foxhole guy, and I will go down with the ship. And I agree. That's what I think I would do that. Right? I could not see in my wildest dreams me leaving a team in the middle of a year. But it's easy to say that when you don't have the money option, you don't have the situation in front of you, where there might be an agent, there might be a friend from home, there might be a high school coach, there might be a buddy telling you, hey, if you can preserve this year of eligibility and you hit the portal, that year could be worth X amount of dollars. And that, whatever X represents, might be seemingly life-changing at that point in time. Because the part I want to emphasize about the three individuals that the most recent batch of Carolina Tar Heels that have left the team, offensive lineman William Boone, pass rusher Price Yates, and tight end Yasir Smith, none of them have played in 4 games. And William Boone especially, even though he might not have the ability to save a redshirt year, with the injury, his agent has revealed publicly that they are going to pursue a medical redshirt, which would give him 2 more years of eligibility after this season, which is the exact same amount of eligibility he had coming into this season. So let's just use Boone as an example, okay? This is like using some details from his story, but hypothetical. Do you know where he transferred from? Prairie View A&M. He started the first 3 games of the season at UNC.
Yeah.
Now he is looking to, according to his agent, posting on social media, pursue a medical redshirt in hopes of having 2 years of eligibility remaining, and he expects to be 100% ready for spring practice. Now, what do you think is probably more valuable in the transfer portal market? Whatever film he was showing at Prairie View A&M, or the film he has now acquired from starting 3 games at UNC. Even if the offense wasn't playing well, you can go find the clips of him versus TCU, right? You can go find the individual clips that show he can block at the Power 5 level if they're there, and then to have the same amount of eligibility and still be 100% healthy for spring practice, preserving that year or trying to get that extra year of eligibility could be worth whatever the going rate for an offensive lineman in the Power Conference is, which, depending on where you look, it varies. But I can tell you, if you're a starter in Power 5, you're making probably 6 figures. So that's the question that it becomes. Right? Even if it's not true, it doesn't work out that way in the end. That could be how it's being presented to the young man, to the adult. I don't want to make it out to be like these kids are making decisions. No, he's an adult. If it's being presented to you this way, you could stick it out at UNC. Even if you're having a good time, you enjoy it. You enjoy the people. You like the locker room. You could stick it out there. You could rehab and play the last couple of games and use a year of eligibility, and that would be the honorable thing to do. That would be what your Pop Warner coach wanted you to do, right? You make a commitment, you see it through. Or you could leave the team now, pursue that medical redshirt, and potentially cash yourself $150K extra with that extra year of eligibility. Put it like that. Imagine how different your life would be coming out of college if you had an extra $150K. Right? Is it suddenly okay to go, or at least one of those like, no, I'm not doing it. Wait a second, here I'm out. Right? I forget what I think it was social media, but it was a clip from some sitcom. And guy had quit his job, and his boss called to get him back, and he went, no, this is on principle. I need to find a job that's more fulfilling. How much did you say that was? Ooh, no. This is on. I need to find a job that means more to, and that's on top of the bonus structure that you just mentioned. No, it's on principle. What was that? How many? How much? See you on Monday. Click. Like everybody has a number where suddenly that principled stance you had is, you know what? Well, I could do it. Yeah, you know what? I can. So my point is this. I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to make it out to be as if I'm 100% sure, but I would be very, very, very opposite of surprised if these guys leaving had more to do with how the football season had gone, meaning losing games, not having the opportunity to play for a conference championship, and preserving their eligibility moving forward than it does with, oh goodness, these reports of dysfunction and the coach is this and the coach is that. I just think in modern college football, where the portal and NIL hang over everything much more than anything else in the sport, once your season is a lost cause, guys are going to make these personal, some would say selfish decisions, and there's no way to prevent that. A couple of them, maybe you can prevent it with some by appealing to their virtue and the future of the program, and you're laying the foundation. But there's going to be some that are out there that are like, you know what? No, I want to maximize my college earnings. I want to maximize my college opportunity, and another year of eligibility gives me that chance. I'd be very surprised if you see people bail, other than like Caleb Hood, who just retires without any eligibility remaining. That's a little bit more surprising, and usually has to do with injuries and things. But I'm not saying that about Caleb Hood.